Alright, what is going on everybody? So today Apple released iOS 14.5 along with iPadOS, tvOS, watchOS, and macOS Big Sur. So I got a lot of videos to make, but I figured we'd kick it off with one of the biggest updates to iOS 14 to date, and that's 14.5. So we have a ton of stuff to cover here in this video. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover everything here in the release notes. Then I'll show you some things that Apple didn't really talk about, and then we'll talk about bug fixes. And we'll also discuss iPadOS 14.5 real quickly. Okay, so the first thing here is you're now going to be able to unlock your iPhone if it has Face ID with your Apple Watch if you have a face mask on. So this is a feature people have been obviously wanting for a while. So Apple recently did the thing where basically if it detected that you had a covering over your face, it would prompt you to enter your passcode instead of going through Face ID. But now you can use your Apple Watch, if you have one, to authenticate to unlock your phone. Kind of like how you do it on a Mac. So if you go into your Face ID and passcode settings, you can scroll down a little bit and you should see a unlock with Apple Watch section right here. Now I actually don't have my watch updated to 7.4, but you need to be on the latest watchOS just like you do on your iPhone. But basically you can toggle this on right here and it will automatically unlock your phone. So as long as your watch is nearby on your wrist, unlocked and protected by a passcode, you can use this feature. So it's like it's looking at your face, but it's actually seeing if your watch is there. It's pretty seamless and it's actually pretty quick as well. So, okay, so the next thing here has to do with the Find My app. So there's several new things here, but obviously the most important is we now have support for AirTags here in the Find My app. So AirTags were just announced at Apple's spring event, and they'll be coming out actually, this Friday, the 30th, I believe. As I'm recording this video, it's the 26th, so yeah, they should be coming out very soon. So you now have support for those in the Find My application. I'm thinking about picking up some AirTags, maybe making a few videos. I think they're pretty cool, and at $29, yeah, you can't really beat that, especially for an Apple product, right? So AirTags will be able to use precision finding. So you have to have an iPhone with a U1 ultra wideband chip. This is an iPhone 10, so I definitely can't show you that feature. But if you have iPhone 11 and up, you should have the U1 chip, and the precision finding will kind of give you like a little directional arrow and how many feet it is until your item. So that'll be available in the Find My app. AirTags are also going to have a built-in speaker, so you can play a sound from this app. And then also the Find My app has a whole lot of iPhones, so other people can use their phones to locate your items. So if people are passing by a lost AirTag, it can be able to update its location. Or even if somebody finds your AirTag, they can basically kind of scan it and it'll tell you, hey, this is whose it is, there's their number and all that, you can contact them. Now we also have support for other accessories, so other non-Apple products can be now used in the Find My. So if you have another kind of tracker, you can use it in the Find My application. And there's also some improved notifications for people close to you in even more ways than before. So this is to do with your friends features, of course. You can see that there is a new tab down here for items. So this is where you'll be able to add your different items either with your AirTags or third-party accessories. And then this is also where you'll be able to identify a found item. So if you find someone else's AirTag, you can hit that identify and it'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Apple has added over 200 new emojis here in iOS 14.5. There's literally everything you can think of, different skin tones, kissing, there's even a woman with a beard. But yeah, 217 new emojis here in this latest update. There are a whole lot of new changes to do with Siri in this update. So Siri now has more diverse voice options. So if you notice under the Siri voice in the Siri and search settings, we now have 4 different voice options down here at the bottom, depending on the variety. So if I choose Australian, it's actually going to show even more voices down here as well. But you can actually go through these and choose which one you want. So here's a little demo. well, never mind, it's going to download the voice for me. But anyways, you can go through these and see which one you like. And even when you're setting up your device for the very first time, I believe it's going to ask you which Siri voice you want to use. So yeah, there's a whole lot more variety of Siri voices for you now. Siri is also now going to be able to announce incoming calls. So it'll tell you who's calling whenever you're wearing AirPods or different Beats headphones. And you can even answer by telling Siri to answer the phone. So that's pretty cool. You can see under the announce calls section right here, we now have headphone in car or headphones only. You can also tell Siri to make a group FaceTime call. So if you tell her, you just list your contacts that you want to put in the call, and it will automatically start that for you as well. And you can even do that with emergency contacts as well. So you could tell her to call so-and-so in my emergency contacts, and it will do that for you too. So probably the most important groundbreaking feature here in iOS 14.5 is the anti-tracking feature. So now if you go into your privacy, you can have app tracking transparency, which allows you to control which applications track you. Now, interestingly enough, mine is still grayed out. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because I'm on an older phone, I'm not really sure. Or maybe it's because no apps have came up to, ask to be tracked or whatever. But yeah, I don't know why mine is still grayed out. If any of you know why, or maybe yours is grayed out too, let me know in the comments down below. But if I were to able to use this, basically if you have this toggled off, no application will be able to track you. And if you toggle this on, it'll generate a list right here, so you can individually choose which apps can track you and which ones cannot. And obviously if you download an app and you open it up for the first time, it will have a pop-up and say, will you let this app track you? And you can ask the app not to track or allow it to track you. But yeah, I don't know why mine's still grayed out. I'm kind of upset about that, but whatever, that's a new feature here. Main new selling point of 14.5. Apple Music has also gotten several changes here. So I actually don't use Apple Music, but I can just tell you about these real quickly. So you can now share your favorite lyrics using iMessage or any of your favorite social media sites, so Facebook, Instagram, etc. And you can also play the snippet in messages without leaving the conversation. So you can basically share certain lyrics in a song or certain parts of a song with your friends or on social media. I know a popular thing is everybody puts their music straight onto their Instagram stories, so you can now easily do that. There's also going to be a city chart showcase which shows what is popular in different cities, and you'll also be able to search by category in Apple Music. And then there's also a whole lot of little design changes here and there. So there's a new menu system, so delete is a lot more prominent in red, and there's a different download button, and just different design tweaks here and there. If you look at an album, you'll now be able to see the release date of it, along with the record company and all that other information. And there's also a made for you section in Apple Music now. So it's kind of like how Spotify does it, where it just plays songs it thinks you might like or whatever, or based on your listening. Well, that's what happens now with Apple Music too. The podcast app has also been completely redesigned here in this latest update. So you now have show pages, so they're redesigned to make things a little bit easier listening. So you can see, just tapping on this random one here, looks a whole lot different, and you have all this different graphics. You can scroll down and then see different episodes and reviews and all that stuff. You now have an option to save or download certain episodes. And then if we take a look at search, we now see categories here, just like it is in Apple Music. So kind of making Apple Music and podcast a little more similar looking. And if you take a look up here on the top right, you now have a account section. So this is going to be used, of course, whenever the subscription service comes out for podcasts. So you now have an account section so you can manage your subscriptions a little bit easier in the podcast app. But yeah, podcast completely redesigned. I really like it, looks good. So if you have a new iPhone 12, there are some 5G improvements. Obviously I can't show you that because this is a good old iPhone 10. but you now have dual SIM support for 5G, so you can do 2 SIMs and have 5G on those now as well. The smart data mode in 5G, which basically switches between 5G and just normal LTE, has been optimized a little bit better, so it makes your experience better for battery life and data usage on your iPhone 12. And then also 5G international roaming has been enabled on the supported carriers for your iPhone 12. If you use News Plus, you're going to see a few changes in there as well. So there's going to be a redesigned tab which enables you to quickly find, download, and manage your different magazines and newspaper issues. And then we have a different search experience, so now you can actually see categories up top here, and then your stories, and then it goes into topics and channels after that. So a little more in-depth search there in your news app. If we take a look at the Maps application, we now get to see our different editors picks down here and guides right here. So basically on the home screen of your Maps app, you just scroll down and you can see that information down there. Another thing with Maps is it's kind of doing like Waze, where you can report traffic accidents or hazards in the road. So you'll be able to report those now, and you can even tell Siri as you're driving to send a report in for you. And if you are cycling or walking, you'll now be able to share your estimated time of arrival with others. Normally you could only do that while you were driving. In the Reminders app, you now have the ability to sort your reminders. So you can choose the sort by function right here and sort them by many different ways. And you also now have the ability to print them, so you can easily print reminders right here. On the Translate app, you now have the ability for playback speed to be adjusted by long pressing the play button. So if you translate something or you type something in as a Translate app, you can choose how fast it plays it back for you. If you do any gaming on your device, well, 14.5 now brings support for Xbox Series X or S controllers and the new PS5 DualSense controller. So basically, you can use your favorite controller now on your phone or your iPad. Pretty cool. And if you use the new Apple Fitness Plus, you now have the ability to AirPlay it basically to AirPlay to enabled devices. So on the Fitness Plus app, you can AirPlay it to wherever you would like. Now let's talk about the bug fixes really quickly here. So first off, messages at the bottom of a thread may have been hidden by your keyboard. So if you're in a message and you pull your keyboard up, you may notice like the bubble be cut off a little bit or hidden. Well, now it'll just scroll automatically to the bottom for you, and that will not happen anymore. Sometimes when you deleted a message, it would still actually appear in Spotlight Search, so that should not happen either. Also, there was a problem with text that were failing to send, so you would hit the send button and nothing would happen. That should be resolved. With the Mail app, there was a problem where sometimes mail would not load or show up until you restarted your device, so that should be fixed. Your call blocking and identification settings sometimes were not appearing in your phone settings, so that should be good to go. If you used iCloud tabs in Safari, there was a problem where they would not show up, so they should be there now. If you use the iCloud keychain to store your passwords in the cloud, there was a problem where you actually could not turn that off, so you should be able to turn that off now. There's a problem with Siri and reminders, so if you told Siri to set a reminder for a certain time, and especially if it was a morning time, it would accidentally set it or unintentionally set it for early morning hours. So now it should be, instead of in the middle of the night, it should be at the correct time. The battery health feature, which basically gives you your maximum capacity, there's basically a calibration issue for your maximum capacity and peak performance on iPhone 11 models. So if you have an iPhone 11, you want to go check your maximum health and all that stuff, because it could be a different number now since the battery is going to be recalibrated in this update. On iPhone 12s, there is a little bit more optimization to reduce the appearance of a dim glow that may appear at reduced brightness levels on black backgrounds, so a little screen issue there should be fixed now. Your AirPods, there was a problem with audio routing to an incorrect device if you have the automatic device switching, and then also the automatic switching notifications might be missed or duplicated. So those AirPod problems should be fixed now too. Okay, so let's talk about a few things that Apple didn't really talk about or put in the release notes here. Now, there's always a ton of stuff that we might miss because there's just so much in this update and other updates. But here's a few things. So the Apple TV remote settings here. So basically you can control an Apple TV in the control center. You notice that the remote icon has been updated for the new Apple TV remote. So that's pretty cool, nice little touch. If you have a new MagSafe enabled iPhone, you now have haptic feedback when you attach a MagSafe accessory. And if you were using low power mode, and you attach a MagSafe charger, then you will get a yellow charging icon just like you do on the battery icon when you attach the charger to your device. In your settings, you may have TV provider down here, and that's basically allows you to sign in to your TV provider to kind of access different streaming things a little bit more easier in apps and things. But TV provider is now being enabled in more countries, and also the menu system is a little bit different, so you can kind of manage things easier, but that's only if you sign in with your TV provider, of course. To go along with those podcast updates, you might notice some new settings here in the podcast section, so there's quite a few more here in the settings. If you plug in a lightning adapter for headphones for the first time, you're probably going to get a message pop up asking if this is a pair of headphones. And the reason for that is because some people may use it for microphones instead, and when you plug it in, it could lower your volume all the way down. So you can now choose if a lightning adapter is for headphones or not. And in your settings, you can manage those different lightning adapters under your headphone safety settings, I believe. For emergency alerts, you now have some new options here. So you can choose to always deliver. So basically, if you turn this off, it will just put them into your notification center. Or if you have this enabled, it will play a sound for the emergency alert. If you have a iPhone 12, you will now have the new live purple wallpaper, anticipating, of course, the purple iPhone 12 that's being released very soon. So if you have a latest iPhone, you can set that wallpaper on your device. Siri can now control auto brightness, so you just tell her, Siri, turn on auto brightness or turn off auto brightness. And that's pretty nice because that setting is now buried in the analytics, or not the analytics, the accessibility settings. So instead of having to go and dig and find that setting, you can easily toggle auto brightness on and off with Siri. So that's pretty much it for things that Apple really didn't mention. Like I said, I might have missed some, but those are just the ones that, well, I kind of figured out here. Now, if we want to talk about iPadOS really quickly, really there's nothing too different here with iPadOS. You get all the same features that you do on your iPhone, but really the only two main things here is if you're using a smart folio for your iPad, it will now mute the microphone. So kind of a little privacy thing there. So as soon as you close the folio, it will mute the microphone on your iPad. And the other thing for iPad is the boot logos will now boot up in the orientation that you're holding. So it'll now actually boot in landscape if your device is landscape orientation. So kind of cool there. Well, yeah, that is iOS and iPadOS 14.5. Tons and tons of new features. Like I said, I probably missed some things, but those are definitely the highlights. This is the largest update for iOS 14 since it was announced. So let me know in the comments down below, what features are you all most excited about? And did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments down below. But stay tuned to the channel because I got macOS and watchOS, and I'm even going to have a tvOS video come out this time because there's just so much to talk about. But anyways guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you all for watching, supporting the channel, and I will catch you all in the next video.